What I want to talk about today really is the subtitle of the book, Common Sense Ideas on How to Get Along Better with the Important People in Your Life. One thing I ask you to do as we go through today and begin the process now is think about somebody in your life, somebody that's important in your life, more than one if you'd like, but somebody that you'd like to have a better relationship with. And as we go through the experience today, just think about, will that apply? Would that work better than what I've tried in the past? If you can take one idea away from today that you want to try, I'll feel like I've accomplished something with you. Sometimes the smartest people don't sit in the front. Let's go to the back. Who'd you trade with? Hang for the next 3 slides because there are 3 of the most important points I want to make with you today. Number 1, Somerset Maugham said, the greatest truths are too important to be new. The greatest truths are too important to be new. He also said, the difference between mediocrity and success is often the difference between common knowledge and successful application of that common knowledge. You all had the tools to find all 6 F's, did you not? But some of you didn't. Well, most of you didn't, actually. Very few of you did. I put a little tag on this slide just before I came here. I came across a quote I really liked. It said, recipes don't make cookies. Think about that. Recipes do not make cookies. And to me, what that means is knowing something without remembering it and applying it is just like not knowing it. And then my favorite quote of all is Rollo May. He says, real human freedom is the ability to pause between the events of your life and choose how you will respond. You know, we're the only animal in the kingdom that has that ability. And yet, we often default and we don't do it. So if you take nothing else away from today, think about this idea of the next time you're in an emotional situation with someone important to you in your life, pause. Jennifer was our normal child. I can tell you, we learned a lot from that normal child. I often tease her that one night she went to sleep as Cinderella and woke up as Godzilla. That she would learn it quicker and that she would do things better than I did before I did. She's read the book. I had to pay her $50, but she read the book. Anybody here grandparents? 1, 2, oh my God, 2, 3. Yeah, how about anybody here parents? Okay, anybody here, how many of you here had parents? Just want to make sure you're still with me here. My grandparent friends, I'm going to share some advice with my parent friends here. You tell me if I'm right. Hang in there when they're going through this because grandchildren are your reward for not killing your own. Here's another important thing, parents. This is really important in child raising, not bearing. I know nothing about the former. When your children make the most important decisions of their life, chances are you will not be there. You get the behavior you reward. You don't get what you hope for, wish for, beg for. You get the behavior you reward. And often we, in organizations, in relationships, are rewarding the wrong behavior. Events and circumstances, like we just talked about, really don't cause stress. It's our reaction to those events and circumstances. I don't often do this, but I'm going to quote an accountant named Doris Gagan. She said, yesterday is a canceled check, tomorrow's a promissory note. Today is the only cash you have, spend it wisely. Anyway, he said, what went on at school today? And Taylor's her name. She said, oh, Dad, it was really exciting. She said, one of the teachers was cooking popcorn in the microwave, and she left it in there, forgot about it, and burned, and there was smoke everywhere. Carrie said, well, did the smoke alarm go off? She said, no, it went on. Why would it go off? 2 totally different meanings for 6 words, right? Depending upon where the punctuation is. Is it woman without her man is nothing, or is it woman without her man is nothing? Powerful, isn't it? So what I'm trying to illustrate here is how important and difficult communication is. True story, I did this once and I wrote this a little too close together, and some guy in the back said, I don't know who Herman is, but I'd like to meet him. Attack the problem, not the person. Best example I can give you of a personal story. I was in high school and I was working at the Dairy Dell, which was a local version of a Dairy Queen. And I was working second shift, and we had a factory close by, and these folks would come up 8 o'clock at night to get their lunch. And we did hamburgers and milkshakes and all that standard stuff. And it was about my second or third day there, and I was in charge of the milkshakes. And we had a long line of people. And you know how milkshakes, you know that little machine? And we had paper cups, and I was trying to speed it along, and I got the metal blade a little too close to the outside of the paper cup. And all of a sudden, I'm feeling this cold stuff hitting me in the face. And literally, I could not figure out what was going on for about 15 seconds. And in the interim, and it's a little place, it wasn't as big as this room, chocolate milkshake on all four walls, all over me, all over my associates. Robert Heil was the man that owned that business. He could have and should have fired my butt right there. But you know what he did? He said, I understand, Paul. You're trying to make it faster. Now, we're going to teach you something here that doesn't work here. But his caring to me was so impactful that I still carry that example with me. And sometimes when in the leadership role, when people got the milkshake going too fast, I accept it. And I try and help them understand what's going on there. So Charlie Jarvis said it best. He said, people have a tremendous reservoir of common sense because they haven't used any of it yet. Keep your perspective. Let me read you something. This is a letter home from college. The young lady writes, Dear Mom, I thought I'd write to you to let you know what's been going on here at school. Don't get worried, but my arm is in a cast. I broke it yesterday when I had to jump out of the dorm window because of the fire that was accidentally started when Mary and I got too high smoking pot. They kept us in jail overnight. It doesn't matter that it's my writing hand that's broken because I'm going to quit school next week and marry Johnny anyway. Johnny's father has offered him a partnership in his gas station in Alaska, and that sounds great. There is an extra room over the station, which will be large enough at least until the baby comes in a few months. Alaska has a strong Alcoholics Anonymous program, which should help Johnny a lot. Our only concern is that the Sudanese Liberation Army doesn't have an active chapter there yet. P.S. My arm is not broken. There was no fire. I don't smoke dope. I wasn't in jail. I'm not quitting school or getting married. I'm not going to Alaska. I'm not pregnant. And I'm not a political extremist. However, I did get a D in chemistry, and I just wanted you to be able to put things in a proper perspective. Seek and use humor for energy. My brother John told me this story, which I'm going to share. They were at the funeral of his wife's grandma, right? Okay. And this was a very solemn occasion. I mean, this woman was 90-some years old. She'd led a good life, but it was a very solemn celebration. And John was sitting here, and his wife was here, and little granddaughter was here, maybe 5 years old at the time. And granddaughter had been watching The Wizard of Oz. And in the most quiet moment of the funeral, the little granddaughter blurts out, "Ding dong, the witch is dead." Now John said, I heard ding, and I was so trying to get to her. You know what happened though? Of course, there was deadly silence. Oh, deadly silence. That's pun intended, I guess. There was silence. But then all of a sudden, people started laughing. And John tells me that changed the whole atmosphere. It went from a solemn occasion to really a celebration of the lady's life. And the little child did that. Point of this simply is humor adds appropriate humor. I'm not talking about picking on somebody. Appropriate humor adds such a powerful element. Now watch, this is a magic slide here. Humor will actually bring color to your relationships. Pretty cool, huh? I practiced that. Okay, we're going to do a quick little exercise here. And I'm going to give you a word. I'm going to ask you to, as a group, say the word aloud. Then I'm going to ask you to spell the word aloud. Simple word, don't worry. Say it, spell it. Then I'm going to ask you a question that has a one-word answer, and I ask you to answer aloud. Okay, the word is pots, as in pots and pans. Would you say it? Pots. Say it again. Pots. One more time. Pots. Spell it. P-O-T-S. Spell it again. P-O-T-S. Say it. Pots. Okay, you're driving down the street, you come to a green light, what would you do? Why would you stop at a green light? I know why. Begin each circumstance anew. Why do you think so many of you answered stop? What is it?
I thought you already knew the question.
Yeah, you finished before I did, right? My job is to talk. Your job is to listen. Well, you quit before I did in that case, right? Yeah, you stopped. Did anybody see an even more subtle reason you might have fallen for that? Stop is pot spelled backwards. That little computer running around up here in your head probably figured that out. And so you said, oh, I got this one. You know, he fooled me with those F cards, but he's not going to fool me here. Yeah. There was one other element that probably influenced a few of you. Do you notice my body language? So you're driving down the street, you come to a green light, what do? I have to carry a green pin so I don't say you come to a red light. Okay, watch the eye. Know what that is? Anybody know what that picture is of? A claw machine. Little Abby, when she was about 5 years old, part of her reward system was if she behaved and did what she's supposed to do, she got to pick where we were going to go to dinner once a week. I pretty quickly figured out that it had nothing to do with the quality of the food. It was whether or not they had a claw machine. And she was, for some reason, very good at the claw machine. So it didn't take me long to figure out I was going to spend $20. Whether I put in $1, $5. So, and they have a volume discount. So I put in my $20 bill, and these 30 tokens are clinking out, and this little guy walks up next to me. He looks at me, he looks at Abby, and he looks at the machine, and he looks at all those things clicking out there. He looks up at me again, he said, can I have some of those? I looked at him and I said, do I look like your father? And he looked up at me and said, nope, you look like my grandpa.